Good evening, family. It's Mimi, and I'm going to read this book, Little Rabbit Waits for the Moon, by Susan Schuson and illustrated by Stephanie Peel. Little Rabbit couldn't sleep. In the day, the sun is there, warm and bright. But when night comes, the sky hangs low, dark, and empty. If I fall asleep now, there'll be no one watching over me, thought Little Rabbit. I'll just have to wait for the moon. And so he did just that. The trouble with being so tired and sleepy was that he didn't know exactly when the moon would come. Little Rabbit waited and waited. More time passed, and the moon still hadn't come. He felt he had better ask someone how much longer he might have to wait. This is the first day ever, said the small flower in the fields. Maybe I will have grown into a tree by the time the moon comes. That sounded like a very long time. Little Rabbit thought he had better ask someone else, just to be sure. Look deep into the water, shimmered a little lake nearby. Maybe your moon has fallen in and can't get out. That didn't sound like what he wanted to hear. Little Rabbit thought he had better ask someone else, just to be sure. Why don't you walk over with me? Twisted a long, winding path. We can find out where I'm leading, and maybe your moon is at the other end. That sounded like it might be a long, long way. Little Rabbit thought he had better ask someone else, just to be sure. I've just blown into these parts. Breathed the wind that had picked up. Who knows? I might be a big, fierce storm by the time the moon comes. That didn't sound like something he wanted to wait for. Little Rabbit thought he had better ask someone else, just to be sure. We can't see your moon yet, rumbled the great rolling hills. And we can see far into the distance from way up here. That didn't sound very promising. Little Rabbit began to think that the moon might never come, and he was getting very, very tired. And then from behind the hills, carried by the wind along the twist of the path, reflected in the lake and shining on the petals of the small flower. The most perfect moon slid into the night sky. But little rabbit had fallen asleep, dreaming of the moon that would watch over him through the night. Good night, my babies. Mimi loves you. Mimi loves you. Mimi loves her grandbaby. Mimi loves her big children. Mimi loves all her family. Good night.